Hello everyone! I'm back once again with a story for all of you. And this time round, this story isn't a mentally scarring event that still haunts me to this very day. No, this one is actually a rather fond memory. And the interesting part is, this actually would have been a horrible memory if it weren't for the company I was with at the time. So, gather round as I tell you the tale of the series of unfortunate Disney World events. Dun dun dun. Oh yeah. Back in April of 2013, I went to visit a friend whom I'd never actually met in person, but had known online for 10 years. And yes, while that is the recipe for being murdered by a serial killer, I took my chances and had what is probably to this day my favourite experience of my life. Overall, counting all for 2 weeks as a solid gooey mess. And part of the meet-up plan was going to Disney World for a few of those days. I'd already booked an unlimited 2-week pass because it worked out fairly cheap. So, yes, we went to Epcot, we went to Magic Kingdom, we went to that safari park one. They had 2 water parks, but he didn't want to go to those, and I didn't feel like going to those by myself. He kind of amped up the germophobia aspect of, do you really want to go on these things where a bunch of topless people rub all against it, and they don't get washed very often? You just go, you're basically laying in someone else's empty bath. It's like, oh my god, and then when you get to the bottom, you're bathing in everyone's bathwater. Do you want that? Do you want that? It's like, no. No, I don't want that. Oh my god, that sounds terrible. So, didn't do that. But this was the second day of Disney World. We'd already done Epcot, ticked that box. That was a fancy experience with the giant crystal maze dome, which turns out it was just a space ride. I was getting ready to collect the gold tickets while the clock counted down, while the guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show said, "Will you start the fans, please?" Very few people are going to get that reference, but I don't care. And if you've ever been to Disney World in Florida, it's not like the one in California where it's pretty much just one solid park and you can get to everywhere on foot pretty much. This one, you actually need to take a monorail to get to the different sections. There's 5 different ones, as I just said. And part of the arrangement with the hotel we were staying at is they offered free coach travel there and back to the main entrance of Disney World. But the catch was, you had to get there at the time they were leaving, because they will not wait for your sorry ass. And that's what happened the first day. We got there on time, got back on time, all was great. I mean, the first time we got there, I didn't bring my passport, and my friend looked at me as if to say, "Are you a fucking idiot?" So we had to actually get off of the free coach while I got my passport, and then go back there on a taxi we paid $40 for. But such is life. So on the second day, again, my friend had a plan where he said, okay, it's a long journey back to that coach we need to get back to our hotel. It leaves at exactly 10, so let's give ourselves at least half an hour preparation, because it's a long walk back to the entrance of Magic Kingdom. Then we need to get on a monorail back to the main entrance of the whole Disney World park in general. And then it's a short walk to the actual coach we need to get back to our hotel. It's like, all right, yep. So as we were making the long journey back, we walked past a log ride that took my interest, and I really wanted to go on that, because I remember back when I were a wee lad going to Southend Pier over here in England, Dania. They had quite a fun log ride, so I was like, hey, can I go on that? And again, he looked at his watch, he's like, yeah, we got 45 minutes, all right, it's a 5-minute ride. There was no line either, so it's like, oh, that's fairly rare for a Disney World ride. So he joined me as well. It's like, oh, that's nice. So we both went on this log ride, and we're having a good time. We went down one dip and got a bit wet, and then we went up a steeper slope, and as it was on the straight, getting ready to go down an even bigger dip, something started to feel a bit off. The ride started to chug quite a bit, and then it just slowed down and then kind of grinded to a halt about 2 to 3 seconds before we would have went down this massive dip and got splashed again. And we thought, I don't think this is how this is supposed to play out, where we suddenly went from going a decent steady 5 miles an hour to just nothing after a bunch of mechanical noises. But we thought, well, even if this isn't how it's supposed to be, we've got plenty of time. We've still got 40 minutes to do a 20-minute journey. It's all good. But then, 1 minute turned into 2 minutes. 2 minutes turned into 5 minutes, etc., etc. And then next thing you know, we're really pushing it for time. It's like, okay, we've been stuck on this ride now, and we didn't know when it was going to start. There was no hint of anything. We weren't anywhere. We were basically too far away from the announcement speakers to know what the fuck was going on. There were people behind us as well, probably in the same situation, where they're just like, what the hell's going on here, mate? And it was awkward as well, because the moment that ride started up again, boom, down that massive dip. So that was kind of playing with my anxiety a little bit. It's like, I want to relax. I'm kind of finding the humor in this, but at the same time, it just, you never know, Tower of Terror style, when that lunge is gonna go. But after about 10 to 15 minutes, the ride did start up again. We thought, okay, we've got 25 minutes here to basically make the 20-minute journey home. We can still make it. It's fine. And then after the ride ended, we got off, and it was pitch black darkness by this point, because it's almost 10 p.m., and my eyesight goes to shit at night time. I can't see a goddamn thing. So my friend led the way, and because he pretty much knew where we were going. But then all of a sudden we realised that the direct routes to the exit, or the entrance, depending on how you look at it, were blocked off. And we thought, what's going on here? That's the way we came in. Why is that blocked? So we went the second quickest way. That was blocked off as well. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then what we realised, no, we weren't stuck in the park, if that's where you thought this was going. What was happening, there was a parade going on, like an end-of-day parade. Some of them have fireworks displays going on, but this Magic Kingdom had a parade of all the people dressed in the outfits and whatever else, and we're just like, are you fucking kidding us right now? We need to get out of here, and you've blocked off all the main paths so everyone focuses on this goddamn parade. What is going on? And my friend was starting to really get pissed off at this point, so he started to speed up like there was no tomorrow. And again, my eyesight really isn't great in darkness, so this is like a nightmare for me all of a sudden, because the person who knows where we're going is getting lost in the crowd for me, because he's just storming ahead, just charging through everyone. I'm just like, I can't quite get away with that, just barging into people to get where he is. I'm just like, I kept losing him every few seconds. I'm like, shit, he's wearing a very generic shirt. It's dark, can't see. But I kept up with him, and then we went another way. That was blocked off. So he turned around. He's like, he's getting really pissed off. We went another way. That was blocked off. It's like, how the fuck do we get out of here? And eventually, after about 5 or 10 minutes of that, he found the one way we could actually get through. And he's just basically going into a full sprint at this point. And I'm chasing him. It's like, we need to get on that monorail. We can still make it if we get on that damn monorail right now. So we get there, and the lady's like, I'm sorry, the monorail's down for maintenance. You'll have to take one of our Disney buses that'll get you there. It's a free service, don't worry. So my friend's on fucking meltdown at this point, where he's just charging towards where these now public service buses are that will take us to the bus stop that we need to get our coach to get back to the hotel, so we don't get locked out for the night in a hotel we've already paid for. And the clock is ticking at this point. We've got pretty much no time, but we're still hopeful. We're like, we can make this if everything is fine. So we get there. And as we're charging towards this bus that we see people getting into, about 3 seconds before we get to it, it takes off. So then we're just waiting there for the next Disney bus to come along to take us to the coach we need to get to. My friend's just, I've never seen him or heard him that mad before, using every swear word imaginable. And we're just like, oh, this couldn't be much worse. And then eventually the bus comes along. And then when we finally get on this Disney bus, every little bit of stumbling from traffic and everything is making my friend kind of lose his mind. And I'm still in that balance of, it's funny to me how you're reacting, but I also sense the seriousness of this, because, we don't really want to live outside for the night in a city we don't live in. So there's that. Because he was visiting Florida from Alaska, so it's not like he had anywhere else to stay that night either. So we really needed to get to that hotel before it closed. My friend's just looking at the time on his phone, just being like, we can still make it, come on. And maybe the hotel coach will be a couple of minutes late. That we can still make it. There's still possibly time, maybe, but probably not. But still, probably, possibly. Other words beginning with P and ending in Lee. So when that Disney bus finally came to a halt, we were the first ones out the door, and we just ran to where the coach for our hotel would be if we made it on time. We were craning our head in every direction, thinking, has it gone? Is it still coming? We don't see anything, but maybe it's still there. Even though there are no other hotel guests waiting for this coach, it might still be there. But no, we missed it. Followed by more swearing from my friend. He's like, God fucking... I'm so pissed off right now. And it's just... So I eventually said to my friend, look, it's completely my fault we went on that ride. I mean, I sure as shit didn't know it was going to break down, followed by the parade, followed by the monorail, followed by missing the Disney bus, followed by this not being here. Didn't know all of that. But, you know, the first domino that caused that chain of events to a certain extent was my bad. That was on me. So I just paid for a cab to get us to the hotel before it shut its doors. And we stopped off at Subway on the way there to get something to eat. And, you know, we kind of joked on the way home while we're being driven there by the cab. It's just... if either of us were on our own at that point, I think that really would be like a horrible memory that would still rant about to this day to other people. But that really was a perfect example of just the company you're in can make all the difference, because I still joke about that with him sometimes. And yeah, in a weird way, that was kind of the highlight of the trip. Even though some great moments were shared throughout the days that actually were good events, something about that will always stick with me. So, that was today's story. Oh, and that cab ride was $40. So for anyone who got to the end of this story and is now questioning where the sense of urgency was when getting a cab ride back to the hotel was always a secondary option, I put it to you, hypothetical backchatter, that nobody likes to pay extra for travel when travel is included in the price they've already paid. Okay? Yeesh. Some people have a muy bueno day. That means very good.